Test 1, 2, test 1, 2. Chapter 15. I led the way through the riotous flower beds towards the garden house. The closer we appeared, the more I spotted pieces that belonged to other worlds. A rickety bridge made of a witch's broomstick spanned a dry mat, which is filled with thousands of coins from the human world that catch the light like silver and copper water. The wrought iron table and chairs with heart-shaped details are straight from Cupid's Cafe. A grandfather clock from Time Town holds up one of the porch's corners. My knees brace a row of tinkling sleigh bells. Oh, my knee brushes a row of tingling sleigh bells, leaning the path, which clanks together, stirring the memories of a wintry forest. At the sound of the bell, the cottage door, the stolen coffin lid swings open. The tooth fairy flutters out. She lands on the porch, folds her arms, and casts me a withering look. What are you doing here, Pumpkin Queen? Do you have children's teeth to rot? I bristle, prepared for a confrontation. The tooth fairy looks the same as she always did when she confronted me at the All Realms gathering. Broadly, my height with a nymph-like mischievous twinkle in her copper eyes. Two feathery antennas circle her head like a crown, perched on a mop of curly red hair. Her playful gossamer dress is shaped shades of chartreuse and pistachio, and her silver white wings are rimmed with a russet edging. A satchel for tooth collecting hangs diagonally across her chest. She's identical to the butterfly-like pixies, only 100 times larger. I draw myself up to my full height, thinking of how imposing Jack can be as king. I'm surprised your pixies are so welcoming when you are anything but welcoming. My pixies, the tooth fairies, clutches her ribs as her body bounces with laughter. Have you checked your pockets? The blood drained from my face as I pat my patchwork dress's pocket, empty. My spare sewing needle and thread. The lava rock from scorches, shed tears, all gone. Luna turns out her pajama pockets to show nothing but lint. Her extra pearl buttons and honey drops have vanished. Scorch immediately rummages in his satchel, but the usual clutter and clank sounds are absent. He wails as he turns over the bag and shakes it out, only crumbs. All gone, the mirror too. Lady Lore will banish Scorch forever for losing it. A fat, molten tear rolls off his cheek. He leaves in my chest. Hang on. Leaves in my chest. Crackle, stoking my anger. Pearl was stealing from us with a smile. No one makes my dragon cry, I think. I point an accusing finger at the porch rag, which is stitched together from fauna. It's not fauna, what is that? Flannel, Dreamtown pajamas. I guess I should have known, given that their ruler steals all this from other worlds. The Tooth Fairy rolls her copper eyes. Everything in Tooth Town is pixie sized. In case you didn't notice, do you think as though I can sleep on a toadstool, bathe in a bird bath? What's the harm of taking a few cast-off items that no one wants? As for my pixies, they were only teasing. She snaps her fingers and the pixies flutter back with all of our missing goods. It takes dozens of pixies alone to heft the mirror of reverence, which Luna snatches back and hugs protectively to her chest. Cast off items, I repeat dubiously. That's right. The Tooth Fairy replies, things that no one uses anymore. I spare a moment to look more closely at the Tooth Fairy's collection of stolen objects. It's true that the Christmas tree holding up one porch rail has brown needles. It's not much. Oh, it must be at least 2 seasons old. And the ceramic paint pots that make up the chimney are used, dripping with dry Easter paint. Even the pajama rags has a tear in one sleeve. I bite my fingernail. Could I have misjudged her? Instead of stealing, she was simply recycling. But the forever hourglass wasn't thrown away, I remind myself. The memory of Jack's letter from the future pops into my mind. The town in ruins, my neighbors scattered, Halloween canceled, all the possible futures of my husband gone. There it is, Luna suddenly shouts, pointing through an open window. I see the forever glass. That has to be it. It's shaped like an infinity symbol. I run into her side and strain my neck. Yes, even though I've never seen it before, there's no mistaking. The brass frame timepiece with glass bulbs. I just dropped my book. Encasing a sea of powder white crystal shaped like an infinity symbol on its side, just like Father Time described. I whirl back to face the Tooth Fairy. The forever glass is hardly cast out junk. It controls all of time's flow. It's the most valuable object in the Hall of Time. The Tooth Fairy scratches her chin, her nose wrinkles, impishly. Sally, why would you tell her that? Is that so? Then the timekeepers shouldn't have left it lying on the floor like any old garbage. How was I to know it was valuable? I assumed it was junk they were throwing out. I only took it because it was the perfect size to hold up my record player. I cocked my head, gears spinning in my brain. Nuna told us that the forever hourglass was stolen while she was cleaning the pedestal. So it's possible that the tooth fairy thought they were throwing it out. Okay. Dubiously, I glance at Luna, who stands on tiptoes to press her mouth closed to my ears. She's a thief, remember? You can't trust a thief. Look at what Pearl did. Stole from us while acting kind, joking, or no joke. My hands fall at my sides as I turn to the tooth fairy. If what you're saying is true, then it was all just a misunderstanding, right? Give us back the hourglass so we can reset time. The tooth fairy's wings twitch with childish amusement. It's mine now, fair and square. It can't be that important if they set it aside like garbage. I need it to return Halloween Town to the present. The leaves in my hands crackle as I form a tight fist. Growing impatient, I accuse, "You've been trying to sabotage my town for days. First you swipe out crushed Gibson for licorice root, to ruin our spell. When that didn't work, you broke the Halloween clock." Her face twists in a confused knot. "I didn't do anything to your clock. Licorice root? What is licorice root? I've never cared for the chewy stuff." A warning tickles from something. Yeah, a warning tickles that something is off along the back of my neck. I push through the sighing. I push through the swaying lilacs to Scorch, who's been quiet this whole time, and urge, "Tell her, Scorch, you heard Father Time say she was the lead suspect, just as I did." The dragon's tail flame barely sputters. He hangs his head, avoiding looking in my direction. He lets out a low moan and swings his big head towards the daisies, then claps his paws over his eyes. I pause, head tilting. Why is he acting so strange? Does our shouting scare him? I'm about to ask Scorch what's wrong when Luna pipes up. "It's true," she said to the Tooth Fairy. "Father Time said you'd been spotted in Time Town right around the time the clock was broken." "I was in Time Town," the Tooth Fairy explained, "but to scavenge for cast-off items, not for some holiday clock. Why would I want to destroy your silly clock anyway?" My palms feel damp and heavy, like I'm back in the Babel Sea, slowly drowning, fighting to keep my wits. I raise my voice as I cry. You've always seen Halloween Town and Tooth Town as rivals. You said so at the All Realms gathering. She bursts out with a laugh that makes her wings quake. I was just pulling your little dull leg. I tease everybody, Pumpkin Queen. Your monsters do make our tooth collecting work harder, but I'd never sabotage someone's town over a few cavities. And I need water. Ooh, rehydrated. My hands begin to shake. My hands begin to shake. A queasy lump forms in my stomach. Suddenly, the flowers smell is too strong around me. It feels like ivy is growing up my limbs, tangling me in a knot. I press a trembling hand to my wrinkled forehead. This isn't how I planned for the confrontation to go. Despite my bitter judgment, something inside me wants to trust the Tooth Fairy in a way. She reminds me of Lock, Shock, and Barrel. Perhaps she's like Halloween Town's troublemakers, is merely full of mischief, but in the end, they're not evil. We will agree to disagree on that one. I played Oogie's Revenge parts. But she has to be the culprit. No other solution makes sense. No, I stammer. I jab one finger in the air and begin to count off the clues that I put together. First of all, the person who is trying to sabotage Halloween Town can fly. I saw the shadow mid-flight on the wall. All eyes turn to Tooth Fairy's silver white wings, which flutter in amusement. I raise my second finger. Second, the culprit intended to steal the Halloween clock, and it's quite evident they have pilfering fingers. Her silver-dusted cheeks blush guiltily, but she folds her arms and presses her lips firmly together, admitting to nothing. I hold out one final finger. And third, the culprit must have a motivation to want Halloween gone. For the love of glimmering grins, the Tooth Fairy exclaims, stamping back into her house. Do you know how ridiculous you sound? I don't have time for whatever game you're playing, Pumpkin Queen. She slams the door. Angrily, I take a step forwards, about to call for her to wait, but at the corner of my eye, I see Scorch's tail flare is erratic bursts. He continues to hide his eyes behind his scaly paws. His claws curl tightly inward like he's afraid of accidentally harming someone. I pause, turning away from the Tooth Fairy's door. I think I understand what has him so frightened. The poor thing's wings are trembling like a bat caught in a hailstorm. His wings My breath stills in a narrow space behind my teeth. A terrifying itch pokes all the way up my spine until it hits the back of my neck, where it spreads until I feel like my fabric skin is burning my lips apart, but only a strange sound comes out. Sally, Luna peers over her shoulder, forehead pinched. Scorch looks at me too, two honeysuckle eyes peeking out from between charcoal claws, and it hits me like a shovel to the back of my head that I might have been very wrong about everything. Wait, I breathe shakily. Scorch. There's something else, someone else who can fly, who likes to steal, and who has a reason to sabotage Halloween Town. For no other reason than because simple, he's a villain. My eyes connect with the dragon's, and he flinches like I've jabbed him with a needle. No, no, no. As my eyes go round, something shifts in his gaze, like a snared rabbit on the edge of panic. His claws at the he claws at the earth, smoke bellowing from his nostrils. Luna cries out and runs towards him before I can stop her. Scorch can't see her over the tall lump of daisies, and his tail fire suddenly erupts into a bonfire that throws out a wall of scorching heat. As Luna unknowingly hurls towards the flame, I do the only thing I can. I jab the button on Father Time's wristwatch. Scorches, flame freezes, Luna hovers in place, safely a few feet away from the wall of fire. A swing daisy bends away from the heat and didn't spring back. Everything is paused in time except for me. Time might freeze, but the heat is not. I race with breakneck speed, urging me towards Scorch. I shove aside falling leaves frozen in midair, run through June bugs in mid-flight, past the sleigh bells, stop mid-strike. I was wrong about the Tooth Fairy. The culprit was by my side the whole time. Not technically. Only until you got to Fabletown, or towards the tail end of Valentine's Town. You hadn't been with you the whole time. I fall to my knees beside the frozen in time dragon, running trembling fingers over his bumpy cheek scales. He even told me the truth in Hall of Time. Scorch is a villain. Scorch will always be a villain. What a fool I was. My mouth goes dry, and the leafy stuffing in my chest feels like it's crumbling. How could I have missed something so obvious? Everyone I love is at risk. My town is destroyed, my holiday gone, and it's all because I didn't see the danger next to me the entire time. Tears trickle down my cheek and run into the pansies below. I double over, hugging my fabric ribs, the ache in my chest, unbearable. The worst part is, I can't even really blame Scorch. It's me that I'm angry at. Scorch was only doing what a villain does. Oh, Scorch, I say, tracing my quaking fingers along his lopsided fangs. Frozen mid-snarl. I should have seen the truth earlier. Still, my whirling mind can't make any sense of it. Scorch seemed sincere in his wish to be a hero. He saved Luna and me in the Fable Sea. He took us to Lady Lore. He let us climb on his back and soar amongst the clouds. I can't bring myself to believe that this gentle dragon meant to destroy my beloved holiday. You should have known, Sally, Dr. Finkelstein's sears in my mind, in my head. What else did you expect from a dragon? That doesn't feel right, either. I've lived a lifetime surrounded by monsters, and I've learned to see beyond fangs and claws back home. The wolfman looks a fright, but he helps me weed my herb garden every Saturday. Behemoth would terrify the devil himself, but he's gentle as a lamb with the town's mice. And Jack, Jack, the king of fright, gives the softest kisses. Monsters don't have to be villains. A fresh storm of tears streaks my face as I push my feet, pacing swiftly with feet that are as confused as the thoughts shuffling through my brain. Could there be another explanation? Did I miss something? Father Time's wristwatch chimes. The first of 3 warning bells. I only have a few remaining moments of stop time. When time resets, what will I do? It suddenly occurs to me that maybe, though the wristwatch's time travel ability is possible, to view the truth of what happened. A hope sparks in my veins. I dart back to Luna and gently pry the magic mirror from her cotton grasp. Will this work? There's only one way to find out. Eye of silver, wisdom gleam, show me the truth, unseen. My hands tighten on the silver handle. Show me time hall. As soon as the mirror ripples, I twist the wristwatch dial sharply to the left and drop it straight into the mirror, holding my breath. The watch hits the surface and instantly breaks, the glass sinking into the mirror like a vat of liquid silver. The Hall of Time appears in the mirror, but now all the timepieces tick backwards. Further back, I whisper, to the day the clock broke. The clock hands sweep counterclockwise faster and faster until I feel dizzy. I could collapse. Until I feel so dizzy I could collapse. The light pounding the light pouring in through the Hall of Time's high windows slant backwards. Timekeepers enter and exit the hall in reverence. Tromping in their galoshes as they oil the clocks, wind the gears, flip the hourglasses, and in reverse, all in reverse, and then stop. I cry breathlessly. The mirror images stops on the ragdoll in a patchwork dress with a younger ragdoll in pajamas at her side. Luna and I perch on the fountain's rim, the swirling whirlpool beneath our feet, where the outline of Halloween Town's buildings shimmer like a mirror, like a miracle. Oh, like our marriage. Like a marriage. Luna's body is crouched, ready to jump into the water, but I twist to look over my shoulder at the odd shadow on the wall. Now I grasp rattles against my bone-dry lips. I whisper to the mirror, rewind slowly. The mirror shows me the Hall of Time in reverse as Luna and I move backwards down from the fountain rim, prepare the potion, and then run backwards out of the door. That's when I see it. Far in the corner, a scaly snout sticks out from hiding. Cracked open grandfather clock doorway. Sunset scales, 2 apricot eyes, a tattered blue scarf. My world collapses. There's no doubt anymore. Scorch was there in the Hall of Time. The entire time Luna and I were rushing to cast the spell, my heart weeps with the weight of this disaster. Hang on. Weight of this devastating truth. Still not wanting to accept that Scorch is the culprit. Father Time's watch trills its second warning bell, and my knees give out. I collapse to the garden path. Pebbles like teeth grating against my fabric skin. But I feel no pain. The mirror reverence goes flat in my lap. I bury my face into my hands and cry until I think I could wring myself out like a sponge and make a pool of my tears. Despite my shattered heart, the mirror continues to play back through its half hidden among the daisies. Between my sobs, a flash of movement in the surface catches my attention. I snatch the mirror back up as my tears dry on my cheeks. Suddenly, my eyelids stretch wide. There's a second shadow. The mirror pans back to show a mysterious figure in a dark cloak, whispering into Scorch's ear. The figure's cloak is unlike anything I've seen before. Its woolen fabric fades away at the hem, bleeding into a storm cloud that crackles with the tiny crashes of lightning. The cloak's hood obstructs the figure's face, but the edge of a golden crown glimmers on their head. So I watch Scorch's tail fire flicker uncertainly, but then the figure says something else. And then the flame flares more confidently. Scorch takes wing and soars across the hall of time. His claws snatch the Halloween clock from the shelf. By then, my past self spots the shadow and cries out. Surprised, the dragon accidentally let the clock fall. The wristwatch floats back up from the mirror's depths, and I pick it up in a daze. My mouth falls open so far, my cheek seams stretch. The culprit The culprit really was my sweet, lovable dragon, but someone else was pulling the strings. Alright, that is the end of chapter 15. We'll be starting on chapter 16 next time. Hope you enjoyed. Bye.